of the rerun of elections at polling stations in Ablekuma North constituency. The Electoral Commission announced July 11 for the rerun of the election to resolve issues surrounding the disputed parliamentary results. Speaking on current affairs program, Newsfile Programs Officer CDD Vera Abina Abdul said notice of time given to the participating political parties to prepare for the polls is too short.
The time the EC gave us, the information came in on the 2nd, and you said 11 people should go in. I thought it's too short. And maybe going forward, I think one of the things we've been talking about is the electronic transmission of polling station results directly to the national level. So for EC to not be able to transmit polling station results, people have gone out their numbers to vote. Elections has been declared at the polling station, and then going back to run the elections again, which is an issue. It means that we have to take some of these recommendations we've been saying over some time now, that we do not have to pull everything together to be able to declare it. And a public accessible means, other countries are doing it, that you cannot have access to polling station results. And so I think that consensus is important in this matter. So when you are not able to build consensus, you don't go ahead and run the election. And we thought that by now, if the EC was coming to tell us the direction, there would have been some consensus building being done. So now the MPP is in court. What do? It means that this issue is likely to drag on.
Meanwhile, head of strategy and programs at the 24-hour Economic Plus Secretariat, Dr. Abdul Naser Alidu, has backed EC's decision to rerun the polls.
The EC says they've been able to verify almost all of them, and only 19 are outstanding, which they cannot verify. And so they want to do a rerun of the election. Now, the MPP, on the other hand, is saying everyone is not necessary. We have our pink sheets, and you can use our pink sheets to verify it. And that's the EC's decision to rerun it is because the EC is afraid of the NDC, because the NDC is in power right now.
And Johnson, I see only a week ago issued a threat. Was it really a threat that the EC?
Yeah, but for me, that brings to a very fundamental question about the Electoral Commission itself. Because the NDC in 2020, in the 2020 election, the NDC basically claimed we won the election in 2020, and that the EC, through some shenanigans, managed to change the results and give it to the MPP. At that time, the MPP's refrain was that the Electoral Commission is completely independent. They are doing their own thing. Nobody can influence them in the things that they do. And so we need to respect what the EC says. Today, the EC makes a decision, and the same MPP says the decision that the Electoral Commission is making is because they are afraid of General Mosquito and they are afraid of the MPP. The question that for me brings to mind is our EC then truly independent? Is there something else that the rest of us don't know, that the politician knows? And that's then, are there certain reforms that we need within the electoral laws to ensure that our Electoral Commission is truly independent, if that's what they say? Beyond that, I think the fair thing needs to be done. If the issue is that we cannot verify results, then let's do a rerun. Let's do a recount if we can do a recount. If a recount is not acceptable, then let's do the rerun and ensure that fairness prevails. That, for me, is my position.
Away from that, the paramount chief of the Laura Traditional Area, Akoto III, has called on the Northern Development Authority, NDA, to continue ongoing development projects initiated by his predecessor. He expressed concern that abandoning such project after leadership changes does more harm than good, noting that successive administrations must prioritize continuity to avoid waste and ensure the well-being of the people. Akoto III made the remarks during a meeting with the new CEO of the NDA, Dr. Engineer Emmanuel Aberinga in Laura. He stressed that it is the people who ultimately suffer when government resources are wasted on abandoned projects. JoyNews Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Northern Development Authority, NDA, Dr. Engineer Emmanuel Aberinga, since his appointment, has been touring the various regions, meeting with development partners and special chiefs to rally their support for the successful implementation of their programs and projects. He was accompanied by the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Jamila Ibrahim. Dr. Abierenga uses the opportunity to lay bare his plans for the authority. That took him to the Upper West region, where he called on the president of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, Ablekuma III, at his palace in Laura. Dr. Engineer Abierenga called for the support of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs and other stakeholders to support and put their shoulders to the wheel in order for the NDA to succeed in their mission.
In fact, I would say the president almost scrapped the Northern Development Authority, because we have seen that over the past 16 years, we don't see nothing fruitful has come out of it. So the president was a bit concerned, but he has now given us a last opportunity to see whether we can get that idea to work. So I said, luckily enough, you are the president of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs. You know everything about the idea and the project. So we decided that we will come. You are the first person in Upper West we are going to engage, and we are asking you to support us, to rally your chiefs. Even if there is an opportunity for the House of Chiefs to sit and we come and engage, so that together we will reinvigorate and start the agenda for the accelerated development of Northern Ghana.
Ablekuma III, who also doubles as the paramount chief of Laura, noted that one of the major challenges faced by the region is the development nature of roads, which was the development efforts of the area.
Roads play a critical role in development, in opening up the place. Upper West, where we need good roads, and they should leave us alone, we'll develop. Yes, because if we have strong road linking up the areas I'm talking about, Laura, Heng, Tumu, Navrong, it's a big corridor. Then to link to Wa, and we have the link to Bole, down to Damango, and then to Burkina Faso. We are finished.
He urged the NDA Chief Executive Officer not to abandon projects started by his predecessor.
One of the criticisms we had about NDA was the non-completion of projects once started. And it's not given a good name. So perhaps if you can, find out the first few days of your accelerated program to complete all projects started. Laura in particular, we have, they started a project with the emergency ward. Maybe you send him there. Some schools, support to the Laura nursing training, some community center at Barry. I visited there when it was at little level. It is still standing there. There's so many other minor projects that I think that you should take note.
The NDA Chief Executive Officer also called on the Upper West Regional Minister, Charles Wongo Esquire, at his office in Wa.
If we don't do that, nobody will develop the northern part of Ghana. We need to have a way, at least if every year, some major investment is done which benefits all the 5 northern regions. Just as you cited agriculture. If we get something big for agric, we are good to go.
He then rounded his tour in Wa by calling on the overlord of the Wala state, now Hussein Sidi Philippo IV. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Wa.
To the Central Region, where the Ascent Central Constituency Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress are responding to a press conference held by some members of the party who accused the Central Regional NDC chairman of abusing his power. The press conference was a petition to President Mahama and the national executives of the ruling NDC to call the chairman to order, claiming he called for the unwarranted arrest of some members of the party. However, the Constituency Executive Committee is disassociating itself from the press conference, condemning the conveners of the press conference for instigating disunity among party members in the constituency. The spokesman of the Executive Committee, Eric Kofi Obing Hawkins, stated that measures are being instituted to address the actions of the conveners and resolve the issues raised during the press conference.
We've called you here today due to the recent occurrences in our constituency, that Asin Central constituency. We first of all apologize to the National Party, to the Regional Party, and again we apologize to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his Vice Professor Jane Nano Pukwajima. We, the constituency executive committee, led by the acting chairman Felix Nana Kankam, disassociate ourselves from the press conferences held by our communication officer Emmanuel Abdul and the recently rejected MCE nominee Charlotte Boache. Now, we are taking measures to address the behavior they have put up. Now, the issue is already in court. The position of the Constituency Executive Committee is that we are waiting for what the court will say, and we are also approaching the parties for amicable solution. The press conference that was held by Emmanuel Abdoni and Charlotte Boache was organized by a group known as the MP Caucus. They are the leadership of that group. Why am I saying this? There is an audio that one of the accused person, Comrade Japan, is claiming that that group, he was apologizing to the group for earlier apologizing to the regional chairman for his offenses against the regional chairman. He mentioned the group as he mentioned that he erred by apologizing to the regional chairman, so the group should forgive him for betraying them. So the leadership that addressed the media yesterday are from that group, but not the Constituency Executive Committee. The constituency, as I said earlier, is we disassociate ourselves from the press conferences, but we are taking steps to make sure issues are resolved amicably.
Now, away from that, just a week after the Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, established a donation desk to support philanthropists and corporate entities wishing to donate medical equipment and materials from abroad, Ghanaian philanthropic group, Ghanaian Women Association of Georgia, is raising concerns over undue delays in clearing shipped medical equipment intended for donation to public hospitals in Ghana. Maxwell Aklobotu has more in this report.
The Ghanaian Women Association of Ghana, GWAG, has donated high-value medical equipment to 8 public hospitals in Ghana to support maternal health care. The donation, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, comes just a week after the Ministry of Health announced the establishment of a donation desk to facilitate the clearance of health-related supplies at the port. Despite this development, GWAG says it continues to face significant challenges in clearing its shipment. The association's Vice President, Eileen Conte, described the situation as disheartening.
We rather use monies to purchase things and bring them in, but what happens is, every year, we've been doing this for the past 9 years, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Finance instruct the Minister of Finance give us a tax exemption. It is such a difficult thing that happens is we have to jump to a lot of hoops. This year, for instance, it took us about 3 weeks, 21 days. We ended up paying a demurrage of about $10,000.
Also speaking at the event, Doris Dako, immediate Vice President of GWAG, said the association plays a critical role in Ghana's healthcare sector and called for stronger collaboration from state agencies.
We just want to appeal to the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance, because the biggest problem we have is when we go through all the fundraising and all the logistics and all the shipments to bring the things here, we need their support to be able to get the things out of the port into the hands of the most needed hospitals. And I think that's very important because our target is serving the underprivileged and underserved hospitals in Ghana. And so it's very important that they align with Ghana Women Association of Georgia so we can collaborate and work together.
Representatives from the beneficiary hospitals expressed deep appreciation, noting that the equipment will significantly improve their capacity to provide safer childbirth services.
Our medical equipment that are going to go a very long way to help in the diagnostic of our patients, and is going to be of great benefit, meet some of our equipment gaps. Yes, and this is something that we are so appreciative of.
With 9 years of consistent donations, GWAG continues to show that diaspora impact goes beyond remittances. It's about systems, solutions, and sustained support. Maxwell Akloboto's report read to you.
This is still JoyNews Prime. We'll take a break. We will be back with more. Please do stay. Welcome back from the break. Now, African real estate developer Mobus Properties Limited has apologized to the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria, Kayode Egbatokun, and the Nigerian police force over recent tensions linked to the River Park Estate ownership controversy in Abuja. There's more in this report.
The apology signed by Mobus Group CEO Kojo Ansah Mensah followed heightened tensions over the ownership of River Park Estate in Abuja and a protest held at the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana. Mobus distanced itself from the demonstration, saying it was not sanctioned by the company and did not reflect its value. The tensions escalated after a June 27 press conference by Nigeria's first public relations officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, where businessman Paul Odili was named as the owner of River Park Estate. But this claim is being contested in court by Jonah Capital Nigeria Limited, a company linked to Mobus. Jonah Capital insists the matter is still before the court, citing at least 7 active legal cases. In its statement, Mobus praised the professionalism and impartiality of the Nigerian police force and reaffirmed its full commitment to cooperating with law enforcement. The company also expressed appreciation for the police service to society. Mobus Properties, which has a growing footprint in Ghana and Nigeria, is behind several high-end real estate developments in Accra, including Night Court, Phoenix Villas, and the Lincoln. Its expanding West African presence places a premium on strong institutional and diplomatic relationships across the region.
Away from that, from over 100 schools at the zonal level to just 2 finalists, the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate has come to a thrilling end, crowning Prempeh College as champions after narrowly edging out defending champions Kumasi High School. Our reporter Rabna Akwe caught up with both teams after the finale.
If the future of our nation depends on the character of its people, then we must start with the one stopping the fake judgment, collecting the rights, and then showing up a church on Sunday to shout Holy Ghost fire, when the only fire we should be talking about is the one they have used to cook this township. When it is campaigning time, these politicians sit on national TV and radio to tell us that, oh, they are humble and they are ready to say it. But the moment they win power, then suddenly they are building machines to peace and war. Suddenly their children are studying in European countries and they come and sit in this hard economy with you and me, clean their mouths, and they keep quiet about where the money came from.
Electric atmosphere right here at the Christian Service University, where the finals of the Love FM High School debate just ended. While defending champions, Kumasi High could not defend their title today, and I am here with them right now. They actually came in second place, and I think they've done incredibly well. Hi, how do you feel right now?
I'm okay.
You are just okay, nothing else?
No.
Okay, defending champions, what do you think went wrong today?
Oh, actually everything was on point, but you see, after all, the Lord decides. So we are grateful. Even how far the Lord has brought us, we are much grateful. And we pray that next year we are coming with much vim, with much enthusiasm like this year also.
So this automatically means you qualify into the competition next year. How should Ghanaians prepare for you guys?
Okay, please, we are telling Ghanaians to wait for us. We are going to give an exuberant performance next year because we are seeded school. We are coming because we have strong team. I mean, the Form 2, they are also there too. We are preparing them so that we give exuberant performance if God willing next year.
All right, they are preparing for next year. I have here with me a mouthful. They just dethroned Kumasi High School. Well, it's actually interesting. I've seen them from the zonals right to the preliminary stages, to the round of 16, to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and they have won today. I mean, this is their second time, making them two-time champions.
Before I start, I would like to thank the Almighty God. As you said, you've been with us from zonals, prelims, round of 16, semi, quarter, and now finals, and now the champions. It's not a small journey, but I feel amazed, very excited, and glory be to God.
Well, after this contest, all we can say is that we are products of grace. We came this far by God. From zonals, prelims, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals. We will be lying if we said that we came by our own might. We will be lying if we said that we are good on our own just because we can write rebuttals or we are good presenters. We are here because God brought us this far. And we want to tell the entire world that God is Prempeh College.
They want to tell the entire world that God is Prempeh College. Well, this is the end of the Love FM High School debate. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Rabna Akwe reporting for Joy News, and we will let the Amanfo share some demas more.
It was a historic start to the 2025 Central Regional Qualifiers of the National Science and Maths Quiz as Mankasim Secondary Technical School qualified for the very first time and in a dramatic fashion. At the SGS Auditorium on the University of Cape Coast campus, 13 schools battled for supremacy, but only 3 have qualified. Mankasim SHTS shocked the audience by overtaking leaders of the first 3 rounds, Asin State College in a final riddle round to grab the first lot of the competition. We're joined by my colleague Adubia Asari on Zoom to give us a recap of how the day went. Adubia, well, from the western region, you moved to the central region. How did it look like on the first day in the central region?
Well, Brace, the Central Regional Qualifiers has kicked off on a fiery, electrifying note. Now, in the first contest, Mankasim Senior High Technical School secured the first contest. It looked as if it belonged to Asin State College, but in the fourth, that is the final round of the contest, they took over the riddles. I mean, when we got to the third round, we all thought Asin was winning this, but it became dicey during the riddles part because they were just acing everything that was thrown at the contestants. So they won with a remarkable 47 points, which was just 2 points away from Asin State College. However, Asin State College, because of the mark they obtained, have made it to the national championship. Now, the second contest, there's an interesting story behind the second contest because Nyakrom Senior High School, they were winning, okay, but the auditorium was relatively silent. This is because while they were on their way to the school, the quiz center, their vehicle broke down. So the contestants were prioritized. And then they were placed in another vehicle, which was also stopped and arrested by the police because the papers of that vehicle had expired. Then they were placed in another vehicle, so they got to the place, they got to the quiz center late, and they were unsettled. They quickly had to go on stage and start the contest. So we all thought it was going to affect them, only for them to emerge winners. They aced all 4 rounds with a resounding 64 points, the highest point scored for the day. They just beat all their contenders in all the rounds, and it was very interesting to watch them. However, there were no supporters to cheer them on because there were only 4 with a few teachers supporting. The third contest of the day saw Obri Yeboah also winning in the first 3 contests, even though they didn't answer any question right in the last in the last round. They still won the contest today because they had given a wide gap as at round 1. So today, Mankasim Senior High School Obriyabwa, and Nyakrom have secured the first 3 slots of the Central Regional qualifiers.
Okay, and that inspiring story is one that I look forward to hearing or seeing from you. And that's it for the today's edition of JoyNews Prime. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Remember, there is more on myjoyonline.com. Have a great evening.